my emotional support crochet. You know. Hey, thanks for clicking. I'm Grace, and this is where I share any opinions I may have about any of the literature I may read. This video in particular is going to be more of a channel introduction. Personally, I enjoy knowing a little bit more about the person behind the channels that I watch, and I'm trying to create the kind of channel that I would be interested in watching, so here we are. As I said, my name's Grace. I'm in my late 20s, and I recently reconnected with my love of literature. I don't remember when it began, but I loved to read as a kid. My absolute favorite thing was when I'd get like so immersed in a story that I would forget where I was or even that I was reading. Not to like bring down the mood or anything, but it was definitely a form of escapism for me. Reality was pretty harsh, so I would avoid it as often as I could. Of course, I had my comfort reads. We didn't have a TV in my home growing up, so it was either listening to something or reading. My go-to was definitely anything by Brian Jakes or like the Redwall series. I would start at the top of the list, work my way down, and start over. Sometime, high school maybe, I just started to slow down for one reason or another. Then, as a young adult, I made some friends who were always reading, always talking about books, always talking about something they had read recently, and they really made me miss my old hobby. So I started to pick up books again. But I quickly became very frustrated because I could not, for the life of me, finish a book. I would get like halfway through or like even like so close to the end and I just couldn't finish it. And then I had this moment where I was trying to set a goal for myself of reading one book per week, which already felt like an unattainable goal for me. But I was crunching the numbers and realized that that's still only 52 books in a year. And that felt devastating to me. I was so discouraged by that number that I kind of gave up for a while. I just stopped even really trying to read. And then I met my husband, and he loved to read. And I felt this sort of jealousy that he could just lose a whole day in a book. And no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't focus. And then I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, and things started to make sense. I figured out that audiobooks really work for me. In fact, they even help me get those less desirable tasks done, and they're somewhat enjoyable. But the real breakthrough came earlier this year when I went and got myself a library card. Now I can download almost any audiobook directly to my phone, no wait times, no potential for fees, it returns on its due date. It's fantastic. I've definitely slowed my pace now, but in those first 3 months, I read over 40 books, and it just felt so good to reconnect with literature and that comforting hobby from my childhood. But I started to realize that I was missing something. I would finish a book and I just wanted to talk about it with somebody else who had also read the same book. You know, I wanted to compare notes and be excited and talk about what I didn't like and what I did like, and I wanted to hear somebody else's insights on the writing style or the story structure, stuff like that. And my husband and I have very different literary tastes, so he wasn't really an option for that. Thus, this channel is born. Something that's new and wonderful about my fresh reading journey is I feel completely unencumbered by rules or superstitions about what I should or shouldn't be reading. So I'm willing to read almost anything at least once. I'm of the opinion that there are no bad books. There are only books being read by the wrong audience. Something that I find dumb or pointless could be very meaningful and insightful to somebody else. So, I'm open. My hope for this channel is to review as many books as I can, but I'd also like to dabble in some other types of videos, maybe some current literary news or some educational snippets. I'd like to learn more about genre classifications and how we got them and where they started and things like that. So if that's something that you're interested in, maybe subscribe. And I'd love it if you'd leave a comment. Maybe there's a book that you'd like to see me review, or there's some literary concept that you're interested in knowing more about, but you don't want to put the effort in. Hey, I get it. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I hope to see you around.